Welcome from the IoT conference in Munich. I am here together with Dave Hughes. He is CEO at HTC Embedded. Welcome, Dave.
Thank you.
The IoT is a big topic all over, so I have to ask you, what are your company offering in this area?
Obviously, IoT is a huge topic at the moment. It's not really a particularly new topic as such, because all that's really happened is the IoT was posited years and years ago when we started developing things like IPv6. They had the idea that all toasters would be connected, therefore we needed many, many more IP addresses. What's really changed nowadays is that the bandwidths have increased, the accessibility has increased, and the power of microcontrollers has increased. And suddenly they're able to do a lot more than they used to do. And somebody's put a marketing term on it called IoT. So all that's happening with the IoT is the communications infrastructure has got stronger. The possibility of doing much more sophisticated devices has become available to people. And so it's a natural evolution of things. What we're trying to provide for the IoT is high reliability components. IoT basically means to us devices that are connected, be it by the cloud, by Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, whatever. You're developing equipment that in the past would have been standalone, that suddenly people want to be able to connect their tablet to, connect their iPad to, making data available in different ways. So you connect your home system, you're in the gym, you're riding on a bike. The information about how fast you're going, how much power, how much you're sweating can be relayed to your tablet, and you can go home and see how much you sweated today. This sort of information can bring other unforeseen consequences, such as if you're broadcasting information out of a device like this, be it medical equipment, coffee machine, this information might reach people who you don't want it to reach, and so you have security issues.
Security is a big issue when you are sharing data via internet. What are you doing in this area?
Our focus is on providing very high quality code for security. If you look at the security issues that have occurred in recent years, Heartbleed being one of very many that have occurred, all the issues are caused by one of a few factors. One is an insider releasing all the password information. Another is badly written code. Practically no serious issues have been the result of errors in the actual protocols themselves, the TLS protocols, the algorithms used, even when universities and things demonstrate side channel attacks, but it's very difficult to use those attacks en masse. When there's been a mass attack, like lots of people's information has been lost, it's been down to either an insider job where somebody has released all the passwords, and there are protection mechanisms against that, or in this Heartbleed type situation, both code has just been badly written, badly checked. There are well-proven standards in different industries for developing high-quality code and making sure that it has a very low probability of failure. However, the security comes from an orthogonal world. You have a load of people who do things like develop a coffee machine, develop an exercise bike. Their expertise is mixing the coffee, making sure you get a nice cup of coffee, making power readings for how fast somebody's going on their bike, how much they're sweating, whatever. Suddenly they're being thrown into exposing data, communicating data. This is not their expertise and shouldn't be. So it's like an orthogonal layer. And if we look at what happened in other industries, avionics, automotive, they also had a similar type of problem in that they also are vertical markets, and they started developing software. And there were no standards for developing software. So they had to create a set of standards for quality software development. This is why when you get on an airplane, you watch your video on your airplane, your video system resets every other flight. Your plane, however, has much, much more complicated software. It doesn't crash, it flies beautifully, it works very well. And the point about this is that completely different methods are developed to use these things. Security is, again, this has been verticalized, so each industry, automotive, aerospace, has had to develop their own model. We have the same thing happening again with security, where security is going across a whole bunch of industries, completely unrelated, and they don't have the individual expertise in these things. And so the whole thing is a bit messy in how this gets addressed.
And what's make your solutions unique?
Well, we've gone to great lengths to create very high quality and verifiable software. That means we design the software in detail. The design specification, the code is implemented, it comes with tests that map back to the requirements. We use very strict coding standards. And so we give a very high level of verifiability to that software, which means that you have a much lower probability of a failure. You can never guarantee that there's not going to be a failure, but all software methods show that if you work hard on your software, and this really goes back to process, so if you, again, going back to aerospace, automotive, etc., the real things they put in place is process. They make sure that you go through checking procedures to make sure that what you wanted has been done and it performs as it does, and then you have a modification procedure. Most security software out there does not go through these loops. It just is released. You can look at what happened with OpenSSL and Heartbleed. You can look at all the other open source software. There aren't the artifacts, there aren't the processes, there aren't the audits to make sure that the process has gone through to guarantee a high level of reliability. This may be okay for some people. They may have devices that are not intended for the most high reliability market, but that's not our focus. Our focus is to create really high quality components that we have very low probabilities of failure on.
In which markets are you targeting with your solutions?
I mean, we're deeply embedded software specialists, but we don't verticalize very often. We do verticalize on some products. And as such, our target market is anybody who really cares about trying to get the high quality, the high reliability. It may not be everybody's cup of tea. There may be people who are willing to take a certain amount of risk. People may judge that they don't care if somebody hacks their coffee machine. Other people may say,
for sure.
Doctor, insurance company finds out guy's drinking too many cups of coffee, insurance no longer valid when he wasn't supposed to be doing it. Suddenly you find the most unexpected piece of data becomes critical. So people have to weigh up how much value there is in keeping their data secret and making sure that it is protected in the ways they would expect. And our aim is to give that option to people who want a very high level of confidence.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Dave, for this interview and for the insights in your company portfolio.
You're very welcome. Nice to talk to you.